Welcome to Bible study from St. Colette. My name is Dick Wright, and this program begins the first of 3 programs on the Gospel of John. John looks at the wider picture. His gospel is much more theological than Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Those gospels are what are called the synoptics, which comes from 2 Greek words meaning looked at together. You can compare Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and they follow very much the same order. John, however, is completely different. He looks at Jesus' life theologically, from on high as well as into the deep recesses of Jesus' life. John is probably best depicted on the cover of the book of Kells, which is located at Trinity College in Dublin. The Book of Kells consists of explanatory notes on the 4 Gospels, as well as those 4 Gospels. It was written around the year 800 in the Common Era by Irish monks. John is a delightful book, full of theological insight. He gets into not only the breadth of Jesus' life, but into the deep waters of the mystery of God. And thus, Jesus, in the book of John, cries, "If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink." Now, who wrote the gospel? The author is unknown, even though the text refers to John as the disciple whom Jesus loved. It was written as part of an independent tradition, that of the Johannine community, which was a group of Christians who gathered together following the theology that the author listed. The book took place in 3 stages, and so it was written over a number of years, but based on the Johannine community. When was it written? Likely in the year 96 of the Common Era or after. It was written after the 3 synoptics and after the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE. when the Romans came, destroyed the city, and destroyed the temple. And the text presupposes that Peter has died. Johannine Christianity, based on this gospel, placed great emphasis on Jesus as the definitive revelation of God's saving will. John bequeathed its literary text and its belief in Jesus, both of which came to define Christianity from a very early stage. The community understood they were in intimate contact with Jesus and with one another under the guidance of the Spirit. John, as I've said, is a different kind of gospel. It contrasts with the other three in both choice and arrangement of material. A key difference is that Matthew, Mark, and Luke place Jesus in Galilee, laboring among the common people. John chronicles Christ's work in Judea, highlighting his conflicts with the Sanhedrin in Jerusalem. There are further differences between John and the synoptics. And by the way, just for clarity and brevity, I'll refer to this gospel as John's gospel. There are no parables. There are the least number of miracles, only 9. John has material the other gospel writers don't have. And he's very specific about who became disciples of Jesus through John the Baptist, as well as specific about the actions of Mary Magdalene, Peter, and John after the resurrection. The gospel centers around the person of the Redeemer. The opening sentence, very different from the openings of the other Gospels, takes us into the inmost recesses of eternity. John never tires of portraying the dignity and glory of the eternal Word who took up his abode among men. Signs and sayings unique to John. He lists 7 signs, he calls them signs, in which Jesus shows his divinity. You see the 7, what we call miracles, listed. All these 7 signs precede and foreshadow the great 8th sign of Jesus' death and resurrection. John also has 7 I am statements. This is where Jesus declares his divinity. And you'll see the list of I am statements, familiar most likely to all of us, and the chapter and verse they're from. The outline of John's Gospel consists of a prologue, then the book of signs, the book of glory, the passion narrative, and an epilogue. The epilogue being the resurrection appearance of Jesus in Galilee. The famous prologue contains the author's theory, his theology, and his plot about John's impact on the world. In the beginning, echoes Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 1. And so John's Gospel ties both the Old and the New Testaments together. The signs, only 7 of Jesus' miracles. In the Synoptic Gospels, they reveal the arrival of the reign of God and Jesus' power over the world. However, in John's Gospel, they reveal Jesus as the one sent from the Father. The first sign is very familiar to us, the wedding at Cana. I note that it's presented only in John's Gospel. In John's Gospel, Jesus' mother is never mentioned by name. And the address, woman, my hour has not yet come, is an Aramaic response common to the time, not at all disrespectful. His mother, displaying her absolute trust in him, knowing that he would follow what she said, tells the waiters, do what he tells you. And he did. We'll end this session appropriately in the midst of this celebration. I thank you for your attention, and remember, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to email me at wrightdir@aol.com. That's WRIGHTDIR@AOL.com. Thank you.